Good morning, Piss Week Running World fans. It's about 6:30 in the morning on the 18th of October 2020. We have the Weston Creek Half Marathon this morning, starting at 7 a.m. down here at Black Mountain Peninsula. It's a pretty good day. We've had a bit of rain overnight, but we've got clear conditions now. Won't be hot, so we should be able to pull out a decent performance, and it'd be good to be able to just turn the legs over in a race environment for the first time in a while. So we'll see how we go. Well, I've beaten my personal best today. It was March of 2009 when I ran my first half marathon and ran, I think it was 83:46. I'll get the official time once I'm home and I look it up, but really happy with that effort today. We'll do a bit of a mini blow-by-blow explanation once I'm recovered, but really happy with that, and time to recover. For my post half marathon report today, I'll give you a bit of a blow-by-blow on how the event went, as well as a bit of background. So the event normally happens in March each year, but because of COVID it had to be rescheduled for October. Given how Canberra has come through that situation, the event got the tick of approval to happen, which was fantastic that runners were now able to come back out and compete after such a long time of not being able to come together and race and all of that. I've never actually trained for a half marathon in my time as a runner. I've only ever used them as a training run in preparations for events such as the marathon, but I figured I'd go out there and give it my best today to see where I'm at as a runner at this point in time, and I gave an intention of running around 85 minutes, which I think was realistic. For the race, I didn't start my watch at all. I work on a run by feel approach, which may be seen as a foreign concept to a lot of runners these days, but it works for me and I'll always stick with that as long as it does. From the gun, I thought the pace was a little bit hot, but it was quite comfortable, and I was able to work in with a good group of 4 or 5 other runners for those initial kilometres to settle in and get some good rhythm early on. Once we got down to the zoo and was crossing the bridge at Scrivener Dam, we'd thinned out a bit, and within the next kilometre the rubber band had broken and we were all running solo after that. Once I got through to about 8 kilometres or so, I thought that the hot pace early on was starting to kick in and thought the race was going to go downhill from there, but figured, well, we'll see how we go when we get to the turn and we'll reassess from there. Got to the turn, had started to feel a little bit better, looked back through the field and figured I was probably going to get caught by 3 people on the way back. Sure enough, I got caught by 3 people on the way back. Once I got through 12 kilometres, I was back to feeling really good again. Got a good stride pattern going. The pace was comfortable, and I was running really well. That continued on for a little bit, and when I got through to 16k, which is the where the race begins really, I was starting to feel a little bit tired, but I crossed the bridge at Scrivener Dam, past the zoo, and figured the climb back up towards Acacia Inlet was going to be a tough slog. Surprisingly, I ran that section really well and was quite happy with how that turned out. What was good at that point in time is that we were approaching a lot of the 10k runners, so there was always someone in sight to target and try and overtake, and it worked out quite well. Once we got back past Acacia Inlet, it's relatively flat running from there back to the boat sheds. Once I made the turn at the boat sheds and in towards the finish, I had no idea how long I'd been running for, but figured I was probably on for a good time. I saw the clock with about 50 metres to go, and as the footage you'll see, the camera goes a bit haywire because I actually put my foot down and sprinted towards the finish, to thinking I was going to get a personal best. I crossed the finish line, and to my surprise I had gone 1 minute and 4 seconds under my personal best that I had set in that event in March 2009, which was my first ever half marathon. So it wasn't a bad effort 11 and a half years later to be able to take out my half marathon personal best. So I ended up with 1:22:42 gun time, 1:22:40 chip time, which I was just mind blown that I was actually capable of running something like that on the preparation or lack thereof preparation that I had done coming into today. So it was fantastic. I couldn't pull any negatives from my run. It was just amazing what you're capable of doing, regardless of how you've come into the event. So it was all positive, and I was really happy with how things turned out, and I was able to recover well, and it just made for a fantastic day. Really well run, really well organised, communication was fantastic, and nothing but praise for the event. So really happy with how things turned out, and I'll be back to do that event in the future as always. And that's pretty much my report for today, and that'll be my last event for 2020.